Whether you've been working around SQL Server for a while or whether you're brand new to the SQL Server family, there are a number of acronyms that surround the various platform functionalities of SQL Server you're going to bump into. Now, SQL Server began gaining market share in the early 1990s as a relational database management system, an RDBMS. It first actually appeared back in the 1980s, but not many people really understood the purpose of it. They didn't understand the complexity. It was not a user-friendly system, and it was just new. We've seen that all the time. Over the years, it has really matured, but at its roots, it first appeared as just a true relational database management system. It gave you the ability to create a database, to manage that database, and provide basic relational database functionalities for your organization. You could collect data, manipulate data, and so forth. Now, the SQL Server that we use today is much, much more than a relational database management system. The purpose and use of data has evolved. Back in the 90s, we just wanted to capture data, put it in a central location, and then retrieve it later for some pretty standard, pretty dry analytical type reporting. When they really started to explode is when we saw the internet start to show up and then become a source of commerce, and all that data that we could capture from our customers, both what they gave us directly and what we could glean from them through marketing, through cookies and all that other stuff, really started to take on value. And so our databases really started to become the forefront of our most valuable asset. Now, the functionalities and tools in SQL Server have evolved along with the technologies and the use and importance of data. And as a result, SQL Server is now a data platform. It provides a range of data services to an organization, and this ranges from relational databases to big data solutions. Now, the purpose for this video is that as you come across these various database and data functionalities, you're going to encounter the various acronyms that these services go by. And what I'm trying to give you here is a little heads up to make you look a little more knowledgeable, especially if you're new to this whole environment, as soon as you kind of jump into the field here. The technologies that make up the current SQL Server platform can be divided into four main categories. And this is where most people tend to break SQL Server's platform into manageable pieces. First of all, there's data stores. This is what most people think of when they say SQL Server. What are you guys running over there for data? SQL Server. That means that's where we're collecting and storing our day-to-day business data. Then there's data modeling. This is where we're going to make data more efficiently available for specific reasons. Then there's integration. This is where we move the data around, and there's visualization. Now, Microsoft provides specific data services as part of the SQL Server platform that provides these, and let's talk about those briefly here. When it comes to data stores, we're talking about the SQL Server Relational Database System, RDBMS. We're talking about things like Azure SQL Database and Azure Storage. This is the cloud-based functionality of SQL Server. Microsoft's entire cloud functionality is called Azure. Then there's data models. Data models are built using a product that's built into SQL Server called SQL Server Analysis Services. You will see the acronym all over the place, SSAS. Now, when we want to start to construct data models with a more targeted purpose, these usually are to provide very fast, efficient business intelligence. And so we design these data models to live in memory, to have a different structure than our standard relational database management system. And so we create what's called multidimensional and or tabular data models. Tabular data models are the hot new thing. And we can also do data mining. And so we can apply various metrics and determine all kind of cool things about our data. But SQL Server Analysis Services, SSAS, is the tool and the service that we use to build and provide that data out to our various client tools. Integration is referring to a product called SQL Server Integration Services, or SSIS. SSIS provides the ability to perform extract, transform, and load functionalities. You will hear those called by the acronym ETL. And this is where we retrieve data from various sources around our organization, and dump all that data into one central database, one central repository that's called a data warehouse, or maybe a data mart, or maybe it feeds data models. The bottom line is we have to have some way to reach out there and grab all that data that we've identified and pull that data in, scrub it, make it all consistent, put it in one central location. Data warehouses tend to provide data to the entire organization. Data marts are smaller versions of data warehouses. They provide data to small sections of the organization. And data models are a further streamlined for more efficiency version of that data. So you can see there's multiple levels here. But the way you're going to get that data into those functionalities is using SSIS, SQL Server Integration Services. Data quality services, DQS, you'll see this mentioned with the relational database management system aspect, the data store aspect of SQL Server. It really fits better here. Data quality services, you will see DQS out there, master data services, MDS, and this just has to do with making sure all of our data is used in exactly the same way and means the same thing when we put it into our data stores. And then finally, visualization. How do we get data out in a safe, efficient, effective manner? For that, we use SSRS, SQL Server Reporting Services. This provides reporting capabilities for whatever data source that you're trying to use. You can get printed reports, mobile reports for all of our handheld devices, our tablets, or smartphones. Web-based reports, we can go to a web-based portal. It's basically a website that utilizes all of our security, and we can request reports and see them right there on our screen, and in some cases slice and dice with those reports. Excel and Power BI, or business intelligence services. And then there's R services. R is a statistical computing language that's been in development and used by a relatively small subset of data experts for a few years, but it's really gaining popularity. It's now built into SQL Server 2016, and you can exploit it to do all kind of really powerful analytics on your data. Watch for these acronyms. You're going to see them everywhere. I just wanted you to know what they are, how they fit in to the overall SQL Server platform.